Hello, good day. I am teacher Arishel and I welcome you to our health education class. Before anything else, let me remind you of today's class rules and online etiquette as we listen and learn together. First, be prepared for class. Get your notebook and pen and make sure you are in the right position. Second, if you need a health break, then you can pause the video to process the information progressively. Third, be respectful. Practice safe and sound judgment towards your teacher, your classmates, and the presentation. Don't post or share inappropriate material and be aware of all caps, strong language, and how you relay your question to your teacher. Fourth, be a student. Collaborate one's ideas with others, and at the end of the presentation, always assess your learning in your mind, heart, and hands. Are you ready? Let's begin. What do you think that picture in the activity represents? That's right, drugs. Drugs are any substances or chemicals that when ingested can cause harm to the body. They can be nasal, oral, transdermal, or in the most basic terms, a drug is applied through the skin. To simply put, there is a user who uses or abuses the drug, which may or may not provide the person with a short-term happiness or a long-term suffering. In either case, the person is affected in various ways, indirectly or directly. Initially, drugs were utilized all over the world for a variety of purposes, notably in the treatment of medical disorders. However, as time passes, it becomes more readily available for recreational, leading to negative consequences aggravated by misuse. In our main topic that focuses on the prevention of substance use and abuse, we are going to identify the types of drugs or substances of abuse, discusses strategies in the prevention and control of substance use and abuse, and applies decision-making skills and resistance skills in the prevention of substance use and abuse. Do you have any idea what the 6 classifications or types of drugs are? Let's try finding out in our word search. These are the words we found out for the 6 classifications, and I hope you have your answers in your notes too. So these are gateway drugs, depressants, stimulants, narcotics, hallucinogens, and inhalants. Very good. The first is gateway drugs. So these are basically legal drugs that a non-drug user might try and which can lead him or her to a more dangerous drugs like marijuana and shabu. Teenagers who engage in early smoking and drinking have a higher chance or probability that they may use or explore or experiment dangerous drugs. Let's try looking at these data. The first one shows the percentage of alcohol consumption in youth, while the second one shows the percentage of consumption on tobacco and alcohol in amounts reaching nearly 300 billion pesos in the year 2021. With the 2 statistical facts presented, it can be concluded that young people are at danger of drug addiction if they are unable to protect themselves from the influence of gateway drugs. That is why, dear learners, I hope you will focus with the data provided, because it is a sign that in reality something is going on. So these are the short-term and long-term consequences on tobacco and alcohol. Depressants, or a linked word for depress, slow down a person's central nervous system, which includes the brain, spinal cord, and the nerve. That is why it is referred to as downers. Downers, you heard it correctly. It also includes the tranquilizers, barbiturates, hypnotics, and even alcohol, which leaves the patients lightheaded and sleepy. So let's try looking at these data. Looking at the two facts and considering how we've lived in our homes, it's safe to assume that some of these people have been using this kind of drug. These are the short-term and long-term effects caused by depressant drugs. Stimulants are substances known as the uppers or speeders. It has the opposite effect of depressant drugs as it raises the energy level. Some of us are used to coffee or love coffee, but are abusers or addicted to it. The same goes for energy drinks or soft drinks. We know these are legal drinks, but once we become addicted to it, we face the consequences, the long-term and the short-term effects. The fourth on the list is narcotics, or known as painkillers, are medications that relieve pain while also putting you to sleep. These are administered to patients with mental problems or those in extreme pain, like cancer patients. The drugs like cocaine, heroin, and marijuana have medical applications, but when abused, they pose a greater risk to the user's life. So these are its short-term and long-term effects. We move now with hallucinogens, or medications that distort reality and facts. Since the word hallucinate means to perceive illusion, it affects all of the senses, causing the user to feel, hear, or see things that do not already exist. So examples of hallucinogen drugs are, I think you are familiar with it, it's mushroom, and the other one is mescaline. So these are its short-term and long-term effects. The last classification of drugs is inhalants. These are found in ordinary chemical products and anesthetics. So just by being displayed at homes means readily accessible to younger children at risk. Acetone, rugby, spray paint, and even cleaning materials can cause these short and long-term effects. Furthermore, these protective and risk factors all play a significant role in the drug's influence. It's all about strengthening these protective elements such as family ties, a strong family bond, while lowering the risk factors. That is why we have to really assess ourselves and ask, do I really understand what I'm getting into? We have different battles every day, but engaging in prohibited drugs might wanna let us regret later on. So stop, and think, learn to say no, and engage ourselves in a more positive environment. This has been a quick overview of our module, and I hope you've gained some useful information you can use in the community. Once again, thank you so much, and this has been your teacher for the second time, and see you in our next learning session. At your service.